So with our handsome Mr. G, so Gus, I wanted to discuss a little bit more with the toy exchange game or high value choose. I know you guys had mentioned that he tends to grab for things that you don't want him to have, so like sticks in the yard, the grass, dirt. Um, Obviously, to a certain extent, puppies do explore their whole world through their sense of smell, but also through their mouths. So a lot of times, if your puppy is doing a lot of exploring, we may find that at times we're making the outdoor environment even more exciting by mistake, in the sense that if your babe doesn't maybe get to practice with novelty in the house, novelty outside of the house becomes hard. So the way I'd recommend to practice this is, I know we've mentioned the toy exchange game, which could be, there could be choose different types of tuggy toys, different textured toys. And the benefit to this is, like we mentioned a little bit in class, is to, the more your puppy is able to practice letting go of something and have it not be confrontational or overwhelming, the better your dog gets at letting go of things they maybe shouldn't down the road. So let's say, for example, he's enjoying this lovely chew item. I might go and do a little find it with him. So I just want him to think that letting go doesn't mean the thing goes away, but also that letting go can be beneficial. So let's say, again, he's done a great job disengaging from the chew item. Yes, my lovey. Oh, his tail, gotcha. So I'm going to also capture any little good behaviors I'm liking. So he offers a check-in, he offers a little sit. What I'm going to try to do is, with the toy exchange game, is while he's mid maybe playing with one toy, get him to engage with this one, and then see if I can get him to relinquish it for another toy or for an exchange with food. So the benefit of practicing this with things he's allowed to chew on is that then when he does go for things he shouldn't, he already knows the game and the rules behind it. So for a lot of puppies, grabbing new items becomes a lot more fun, because either we turn it into a game by mistake by giving them a lot more attention for the inappropriate behavior, which again is not abnormal behavior for him, but is something we don't want him to get good at, which could be ingesting foreign objects. So that's very nice. So let's say he's mid playing with a bone right now, and he can then go ahead and go from this, and I might go, ready, Gus, and then do a little find it. So the bone hasn't left the area, it's still just right there hanging out. So what I'm teaching him is that letting go of the item is still very valuable. So that might show him the item again, he can check out the bone once more, go from checking that out to then doing a little exchange once more. Oh, that's all right, Hippo, you can just leave it on the floor for him. Maybe he does like the bone. So the benefit of doing a little bit with this bouncing back and forth between the high value items and then a few snacks is, this could be a situation where, like, oh no, he grabs the inappropriate item and we want him to practice letting go. So we will work on leave-its as well. Leave-its are going to be things that are always off limits, so things for safety. So if, let's say, your puppy is really trying to consume a lot of paper products or trying to gobble up slippers or whatever it might be, I'd be very cautious to not let him, for example, by mistake, get really good at that failure. Ready? We'll do another little find it. So if, let's say, for example, your puppy is constantly able to swipe your slippers and you're constantly just chasing him around the home with the slipper in his mouth, that was, again, another moment where rehearsing grabbing the no-no item has a lot of really great value. So we want to make sure that we're either preventing the rehearsal of the failure so he doesn't get good at it, or manage the environment where his only options are the appropriate chew items. And then when he does have an item maybe he's not supposed to have, work again your find it, or do a little kissy noise and start to feed for every time he reorients to you from that item, even if it was something he wasn't supposed to have. So remember, your puppy is getting reinforced for the disengagement and letting go of something. He's not being reinforced for going and grabbing the slipper. Grabbing the slipper and then being chased around with the slipper is probably going to be very reinforcing. So make sure we're not adding more fuel to that fire if that's something we want to eventually extinguish. So for the handsome guy, let's say, for example, he's not really going for these items right now. I might try again where we have a toy that can come alive. Ready, Gus? Can I do it? Oh, sure. Here, Hippo. Do you want to see if he wants to play with that one? So if he's maybe interested, he might be also just very interested in the food right now, but see if you can walk around and see if he goes and notices the toy. Here he comes. He was thinking about it. So as Mr. G is going and grabbing for the toy, Abby, you can keep him walking. So move the toy a little bit so he can chase it. There you go. So the benefit of a toy that's attached to a longer tether is that now you're pretty far away from the biting end. So as your puppy is learning appropriate play or what part of the toy to grab onto, you're, for example, not right up against the mouth where he may by accident grab you versus the toy by mistake. So if, let's say, he goes from one toy to another, oh, careful, hippo, keep it on the floor, okay, so we don't bonk anybody in the head. So now he's going for the toy right here. You could have him practice going from one toy, and then let's say he's playing with that one, and get him to let go by doing a little find it, or you could again start throwing in like a drop it. So right here we might go drop it and then feed for the let go. So now the releasing of the item was then the paycheck was given. The other option is, let's say he was playing with one toy, you could get him to relinquish the original toy. So ready? I might go and give that little kissy noise. So right there, mid-play, I did my positive interrupter and fed him for checking back in. So you can do this a couple different ways. Exchange with food to try to get the puppy to think there's value in relinquishing something, but also have two different toys. Get them to play with one toy to then relinquish that one and play with another one a few moments later. Excuse me, hippo. So that's okay, no worries. I'm just gonna have Mr. G play with this one for a moment. You can have it too. Do you wanna switch? Here, you play Tuggy with Mr. Handsome. He likes this one a little bit better if you wanted to help. So we can practice going between the different toys. Okay, so but 1 second, hippo, let me just show one more thing. So let's say Mr. G is doing a great job playing, tugging, grabbing, all these very nice doggy behaviors, but we want to practice going from that excitement into a little dropping. So right there, yes. So letting go, even if I wasn't able to instantly say drop it, here, you can have this one and pull around with that. So if I wasn't instantly able to say the release word, which would be, it could be drop it, give, out, you're not going to say leave it, because leave it would always be off limits. So right now he's practicing going from one acceptable item to another acceptable item. And now this way, with the different textures and different types of toys, he's now able to see novelty and start to be able to redirect onto the better option. Well, you just gotta, I was like, this is much harder than she was hoping. So right here, mid-play, I might go, Gus, and then practice disengagement. So I'll let him come back to you, but I'm just helping. So go ahead, wiggle the toy again, let him play. So another fun part is, let's say we're trying to get him a little excited doing some play. I could mid-play go, Gus, and then practice getting him to bounce back to me from that really exciting thing. So if we can't practice going from excitement to check-ins or from excitement into another skill, how's he going to go from the arousal or excitement outside or something novel back to checking in? So right here, he's doing a great job tugging. We might go, Gus. Yes, nice job. He was doing a good job. I'm just going to do a couple find-its, help him calm. He is very strong. So go ahead, you can show him the toy. Say, again, take it when he comes to visit. There we go. He's coming in just a moment. So wiggle it around a little bit more. He seems to like it when it wiggles. There you go. Try to keep it to the side, not on top of you, okay? And now you can walk around with him. He says, look, I brought you the toy. So keep him wiggling. Well, he didn't mean to. He just has big feet. So for your babes, obviously sometimes if they're playing with littles, that was a great little check back in, is when you're sometimes playing with little humans or even yourselves with the puppy, I would recommend that you go from a little bit of woohoo to then check back in, or woohoo to a little find it. So that way you're practicing this on-off switch that we kind of dived into a little bit on Tuesday with our other little lady, Miss S. So right here, yes, I'm going to feed him for that check-in. So the benefit of, again, rotating through some of these items is we're getting him to practice grabbing something and relinquishing. So let's say, for example, we're going to work a little bit with leave-its as well as, you know, down the road, but we're going to go ahead and practice a little bit between the different skills. So for right now, I know Mr. Handsome, I think he tanked up on some water, so we might have to go potty. It's okay, no worries. So if, for example, we have a little hiccup here and there, very normal. I always remind the students too, in here, this was like a indoor dog park, so it was a daycare before I ever moved in for almost 10 years prior. So there's been a lot of really great doggy aroma. So at times the puppies can get a little confused as to this being outside or inside as a restroom. So remember, house training does take the pups a good couple weeks to months, depending on the puppy's success in being working the outdoor potty skills. Don't worry. Ebba, why don't you bring it this way? Bring it this way so he can play over on this side. So for Mr. G, you could also start practicing where, let's say, playing with, oh, he's like, there's the cheese I lost. So let's say working with a little toy, he might go and grab that bad boy. Then, It is a cactus. Then he could come back again and work a little check-in, and then you could go ahead and see if you can get him to grab the toy. Ready? And then get him to go ahead, and then from there, nice. So remember, view it as practicing the dance moves before you need them. So if, let's say, going outside and trying to ignore the grass is really hard, we might turn it into a little moment where maybe we bring some lovely high value toys and chews. Like I know you mentioned you wanted to try some bully sticks. Bully sticks or Himalayan dog chews or the yak chews. There's a lot of really great products. Maybe going outside, he's already gone to the restroom, and then you have one of these bad boys in your pocket or your treat pouch. You give it to him, and maybe you spend a few minutes outside chewing and watching the environment, but then have it be where the grass is not that novel thing in the situation or environment there, but now that the bully stick or the hoof is the new cool thing to chew while we're outside. So that could be a nice way to take those natural chewing and gnawing behaviors for those puppies that are teething, and then appropriate or sort of bring the food or the chew item into being the appropriate chew versus dirt or rocks or sticks or whatever it might be. Nice job. So we'll give Mr. G maybe a little breather. He says, I got it. Nice job. That's okay. Whenever he gets a little tangled, you can always let go and we can restart. So the benefit of, though, working with things he's allowed to have is, remember, he's rehearsing grabbing and releasing something. Yep, just go around, my lovey, okay? Come back this way. So because if your puppy is not able to work the how-to before you need it, he's going to have a really rough time doing it in the moment where there's a lot of those lovely visual distractions or textures too. So, but he did a really nice job with some of the exchanges. This would be a fun thing to practice even inside, and then try to bring it outside as well as a practice moment too for the handsome man. But we'll give him a little break from this game and we'll work a little bit with those other items like his dog beds that you guys were struggling with.